The countdown is on to a huge night of playoff basketball on Prime. In the East, it's Game 6 of the Cavs and Pistons. Later on out west, the Spurs will try to close out the Timberwolves. Minnesota needs a win to force a Game 7. And with the start of the NBA Finals less than 3 weeks away, look what we've got. The Larry O'Brien Trophy is in the building. Also in the building, we've got Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, Blake Griffin, Udonis Haslem. I'm Taylor Rooks. Very beautiful, shiny trophy there. I want one word that you think of when you see the Larry O'Brien. I'll start with you, UD.
Me first?
Yep.
Oh.
Why don't we come back to you? What do you got, BG?
Go ahead. Go ahead, BG.
Elusive.
Distant.
Memory.
Oh, gross.
Oh, my gosh,
UD,
Dirk.
you
I
got
could have said
something.
that.
Glorious?
Huh?
Glorious?
Nah, I'm trying to find another word, Steve.
He's
Give me
trying to
word,
find a
Steve, that says
UD-ism.
this-
You got one,
Important.
UD? There we go. Important.
Important.
Okay.
Important.
Not that important.
Yeah, I mean, depends who you are. Right?
Actually, I think
What
it's
are your values?
actually not that cool.
How important is it, Dirk?
It was big.
All right, well, I have 2 words to describe tonight, and that is potential elimination. All right, in Game 5, you like that?
A lot of syllables.
In Game 5, a 3 from Tobias Harris with the Pistons up by 9 with just over 3 minutes remaining. Then the Cavs made their comeback, a driving layup there from Donovan Mitchell. We had a 3 from Evan Mobley, all part of a 9-0 Cleveland run to close out regulation. In the final seconds, Spida stripped by Asar Thompson. At the end of the play, there was contact for Jared Allen. Thompson went down. No foul was called, though, Dirk. On to OT. We have some disagreements up here. Max Strus in Cleveland started OT on a 9-2 run with a...
have to choke the life out of this team, right? We're not going to go down without a fight. We're not going to go down without kicking, punching, crabbing, clawing. And that's just who we are. And we've been in this position before, and we were able to work our way through it.
We've had our back against the wall before. And at the end of the day, I mean, if we can't win a game on the road, how far are we really going to get in the playoffs? How far are we going to get in this league? So, got to go win a game on the road. And that's what we're going to go do.
I mean, Cade said it best. Detroit's backs are against the wall. I want to know what stood out about how Detroit lost, BG.
Just careless turnovers, you know, some mistakes that young teams do make. But the thing that they've shown us is they're resilient. I mean, this will be their 4th time facing elimination in this playoffs. And you don't want to ever have a game like that up 9 under 3 minutes. But it happens. You know, the one player I'm sort of looking at is Jalen Duren right there. He was so good in the regular season and hasn't been able to find that same rhythm. And he needs to get going. And I say he because at this point of the playoffs, like, he might have to do this on his own, right? The time you start hunting shots and forcing stuff, you sort of get outside of your game. The one thing you can do, especially as a big, go play harder than people, go bully, go use your strength, which is strength, to go get offensive rebounds. If it's not there, you don't feel good about it, kick it out, be active. It's amazing how the ball, especially in the playoffs, finds energy. So keep moving. And they don't need him to be any different than he was. They just need him to do it harder and put more and more pressure on these bigs. So he's a guy that I'm looking to tonight to really change the tempo in Game 6.
I think losing Duncan in that game, I think that really hurt them. When you look at the spacing and we talk about Jalen Duren and what he needs to be impactful, you need spacing out on that court, not just for him, but also for Cade as well. So I think Duncan in that game where they hit him down the stretch, they hit Cade down the stretch. Duncan had 17 points that game. He was 5 for 9 from 3. Dennis Jenkins had 14 points. Very, very critical, and Duncan Robinson has to help that spacing. So I'm happy he's back in that lineup tonight.
And I think the Cavs have recognized the incredible responsibility on Cade Cunningham offensively. And they've taken the tone of, let's wear this guy out. We're going to pick him up full court. He's got to make every play for this team. Then they've started to switch every pick and roll to make him manufacture one-on-one. And I think it's just making it exhausting for him. He's just had a 7-game series. He plays both sides of the ball. He's playing 40-plus minutes a game. He's got to make everything happen for this team. And without the spacing and just having him go one-on-one, he can get favorable matchups. They'll let him have Merrill. They'll let him have Harden, whoever he wants. They'll put bodies behind and they say, you got to make it happen over and over and over. And I think that is a big toll. He's going to need some help tonight from guys like Duren, from guys like Robinson, if they have a chance of winning.
On the Cavs side, I'm looking at Allen and Strus. Both had fantastic game fives. Allen had a big double-double, 16 and 10. Do you know that they're 18 and 4 this year when he has a double-double? So they're a different animal. Come on.
Big stat.
That guy?
They are a different animal when he's active in the paint. He had 2 big blocks. He's been great, obviously, around the rim. So when he's active, he gets rebounds, he gets stick backs. They're a different team. And then Strus has been fantastic, especially there. I thought everybody's going to talk shooting. He had 6 threes. I thought in the first half, Cleveland didn't have much going, and he kind of kept them up, kept them scoring with his big three-point shooting. But I also like his physicality on defense. He's guarding Cade at times. He's keeping loose balls alive. He had this big steal in overtime that we saw earlier. So I just love his activity and his competitiveness.
Yeah, after the game, Kenny Atkinson said they got that win because of Max Strus. He finished that game 5 win with 20 points, 8 rebounds, knocking down 6 out of 8 threes. And earlier, our Christina Pink caught up with him.
Okay, so Max, first of all, I love hearing your teammates and coaches, as Dawn walks by, talk about the presence you bring. Some things I've heard was nasty character, maniac competitor. I mean, how would you best describe the edge you bring to the court?
I'm just trying to win. I don't think it's anything too crazy. I'm kind of getting called those names and getting called a maniac, but I'm really just here to win and play as hard as I can, and for some reason that gets characterized as being a maniac.
Well, okay, obviously last game the shot making was huge, but you always do all the little things that contribute to winning, the steals, the rebounding. I mean, when you were coming back from that foot surgery, is this kind of what you imagine contributing?
Yeah, I mean, I think this has always been my game. I think this has always been something that I pride myself on is being the hardest worker on the floor, trying to do the little things to help teams win, and just doing anything to help. And I think that's always been my main thing. And you can't control whether shots are going to go in or out. So, but you can always control how hard you play. So that's just been my motto since day one, and it's got me where I am, and I'm just going to keep doing it.
Undefeated at home this postseason. How do you guys continue to protect home court tonight?
Keep relying off our fans. They bring us great energy, and get off to a good start, and just play our basketball. We know what wins. We know what we're capable of, and just got to go out there and do it.
All right, thanks so much.
No problem.
Taylor,
Thank you.
back to you.
Great stuff, Christina. Now, if there is a Game 7 between the Cavs and Pistons in the Eastern Conference semis, you will see that winner-go-home showdown on Sunday, right here on Prime. Time now for the drive to tip-off presented by CarMax UD. What you expecting from your former teammate tonight?
Intensity. He understands that they need to close this out. They do not want to go back to Detroit. He's been in this situation before, so I'm not surprised at the intensity he's bringing. I expect him to continue to bring that.
All right, and also Duncan Robinson, by the way, available but not starting UD.
He'll be ready. He'll be ready. He understands the importance of what he brings to be on this basketball court. Both of these guys, man, came from the mud. I mean, Max was at Lewis before he got to DePaul. Duncan was at Williams before he got to Michigan. Both of these guys are going to embrace this moment. They understand how important it is to be here, so I expect these guys will show up.
My gosh, John Wall is among us. We will be right back.
I mean, these guys deep.
The loss of Memphis Grizzlies forward Brandon Clarke and former NBA player Jason Collins. Clarke spent 7 years with the Grizzlies after being drafted in 2019. The team said in a statement, Brandon was an outstanding teammate and an even better person whose impact on the organization and the greater Memphis community will not be forgotten. Jason Collins, who had a 13-year NBA career, was the league's first openly gay player and an NBA Cares ambassador. Commissioner Adam Silver said in a statement that Collins helped make the NBA, WNBA, and larger sports community more inclusive and welcoming for future generations. Collins had been battling brain cancer since last year. For more on his life, we welcome in our Ian Eagle, also the longtime voice of the Nets. Ian, thank you for joining us. You got to know Jason during his years with the Nets. We know about his legacy off the court. What should we know about Jason Collins as a player?
Taylor, obviously terribly sad circumstances to be joining you for a couple of minutes. Jason came to the Nets from Stanford, drafted 18th overall. So he was an accomplished player in college, but with the Nets, they needed him to fill a certain role as a big man to be cerebral, to be physical, to be smart out on the basketball court. They were running a version of the Princeton offense under Byron Scott. Eddie Jordan had coached with Pete Carrill, the former Princeton coach, in Sacramento. So Jason had a very specific role: set good screens, backdoor cuts, be aware, and he filled it to a T. Everything they needed of him was exactly what he brought. He became a big part of the rejuvenation of the franchise, and on the court, he made the most of his abilities and developed into a terrific role player. You said it, 13 years in the NBA.
Yes, Ian, and off the court, what will you remember most about Jason Collins as a person?
Very kind, very smart, very approachable, great sense of humor. He had this laugh that would stick with you, and he just had a real joyous way about him. He was very stoic on the court, but then when you got to know him off the court, you saw the other side of Jason. And I think the part that sticks with me, when he comes out and is the first NBA player to do it publicly, he recognized the responsibility that would come with that, not just in the moment, but for the rest of his life. And he shouldered that responsibility, and he did it with pride, and he did it with class. And I know he was very loved by his friends, by his family, by his teammates, and by his husband, Brunson, as well.
The stories that we've heard about Jason Collins have painted such a powerful picture of his special life. Hearing that from you, from his teammates, friends, so many throughout the NBA community, our thoughts remain with everyone who loved him. Thank you for sharing, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Taylor. It's been a celebration of his life. It's been amazing to see.
Series lead. In Game 5 was the Spurs' second 25-point win of the series. What stood out to you in that victory, Steve?
Well, I was incredibly impressed with the Spurs guards. You know, Fox, Castle, Harper. To sum it up, they just got to their rim whenever they wanted to. Forceful downhill drives. I think it's going to be a real decision here for Minnesota. I think traditionally they like to stay home and let Rudy clean up a lot of that stuff. But in transition especially, they got to build a wall and keep these guys out of the paint. You know, if they don't, then Rudy's got to come, and guess who's following up on the glass? It's Wemby, who's got skill and feet and athleticism. So I really think they got to stop this before they get too deep, maybe even come off shooters in the half court, not allow them to get to their rim so often, where then Wemby's on the glass or shooters are getting opportunities.
By the way, Dylan Harper, the first Spurs since Manu to have multiple 20-point games off the bench in a postseason, BG.
Yeah, he's been incredibly impressive. And like Steve said, all of their guards offensively are so poised and are making great decisions. But what's really impressed me is them on defense. They do such a good job of slowing down the ball, applying pressure, full court. You know, it's interesting for such a young team and a young group of guards. They can hurt you with speed on one end, and then they can hurt you with physicality on the other end. And that's usually not a combination you're getting from a group of young guards. So I think they've been special on both ends, but defensively I've been very, very impressed with their ability to just lock into game plans and provide that first point of attack. And then you have Wemby behind you to clean up everything else. But they definitely make his job easier with the amount of pressure they put on, and he makes their job easier.
Well, a little bit of everything went wrong for the Timberwolves in Game 5. I mean, bad start, foul trouble, not enough from Randall, from Gobert, physicality. I mean, what adjustment does Minnesota need tonight, UD?
I mean, first and foremost, to me, to be the team that have been to the conference finals back-to-back years, San Antonio seems to be the more poised and mature team in this series. When I watch the fouls and some of the fouls that McDaniels are creating, every time after the play, Naz Reid has something to say to the referee. Coach Finch about to square off with the official. Like, listen, keep the game within the game, because the game within the game is where you're getting dominated. Right now, the point paints are plus 76 for the Spurs in this series, plus 61 in fast break points in this series. Right here, Jaden McDaniels gets this shot. This is just a bad foul. Right now, at this time, it's 64-61, you're down 3. It went completely downhill after he went out the game. I understand your frustration because the Wemby impact is real. You got 41% of your points in the paint on dunks and layups last series. You're at 23% right now, so the Wemby impact is real. But what you bring to that team is too important. Anger, not managed right, is a boomerang. It's coming right back at you. So if you don't
Talk to him.
Anger not managed right is a boomerang.
Writing that one down.
Yeah, if you don't manage that anger right and put that in the court and put that on your court for your team, then it's going to hurt you. And it's hurting Jaden McDaniels right now, and you're hurting your team, kid.
Yeah, you want to follow that up?
Yeah, I got nothing to say, but I think they need to get, obviously, Ant going, who is, when they trap him, can they play out of it? Can they make the right plays? Can Ant still attack downhill? They really keeping him out of the lane. And also, Julius Randle, you know, who's averaging, 21 in the regular season, is only averaging 13, 14 this series. They're kind of taking him out. They're taking him out of his playmaking abilities, only 1.6 assists. So not only his shots are down, his percentage is down, his average opportunity of assists are down. So he needs to find a way to get in there, get in the lane, maybe finish some. If it's not there, find the shooters on the outside. So he needs to be aggressive, maybe get to some of his mid-range package. He needs a big game if they want to extend this.
All right, Spurs and Timberwolves later. First up, though, it's Cade and the Pistons against Spida and the Cavs from Cleveland. NBA All Prime pregame presented by